Jack's Pizza, Coca-Cola, Arizona Tea, Frito-Lay, Pepsi Bottling Company, and Jay's Chips. Costas Foods, locally owned and serving you at 2800 Calumet, Valparaiso, 801 Broadway, Chesterton, and U.S. Highway 6, South Haven. Costas Foods, where shopping is a pleasure.
And by the financial support of viewers like you.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Valparaiso University football. Along with head coach Tom Horne, this is Todd Eichow. Today we'll take a look back at Saturday's tough 7-point defeat at the hands of the Drake Bulldogs. We'll welcome in starting offensive tackle Kevin McHale, and we'll preview Saturday's upcoming ball game against the University of Evansville. First, though, we visit with head coach Tom Horne, whose ball club dropped to 3-3 on Saturday. But, Coach, obviously a lot to be pleased with, especially what took place in the second half.
I think the second half we played, as well as we can. We outscored them 15-7. Defense really did a good job stopping them, getting us some turnovers. Our biggest problem was the first half when we went down 3 plays and scored on Drake, and then we had a holding penalty, fumble. We're down 21-6.
Did the defense finally come into its own in the second half on Saturday, and is this something to look forward to for the Final Four ball games?
I think so. We're still not great against the run. We've got some D linemen that are banged up, though, so that's to be expected somewhat. But I think pass coverage-wise, they really came in their own, did a great job. And I think, the night practices are helping now. We have everybody practice for 2 weeks, and they're starting to gel together. Okay, good start for the Crusaders. As we check the highlights, we see very early on Valparaiso very strong defensively. Their opening drive, they got great field position, but the defense came up big. John Harrington on the first play of the game. Yeah, they run the outside zone play there, and John's already an outside technique, so it really was an easy play for him.
Got the ball back and moved the football. 3rd and 8. Nick goes up top, rolls right, and then throws back across field, and Scott Hendricks continues his big season.
Scott, on the wide angle, you can see the move he makes to get open here. It's just phenomenal.
Then you come out and you ran the option pretty successfully on Saturday. You run it for a touchdown right here.
And Nick's just reading the outside linebacker, and he goes inside, and fullback cuts him, and he walks in the end zone.
And a good job blocking downfield by Scott Hendricks.
Absolutely. Our perimeter blocking was not great Saturday, but on that play it was.
But unfortunately, that kicking problem came back up to haunt you again.
And he hits it good. It just pushes it a little bit to the right. Didn't miss by much, but we got to do a better job with a short kick like an extra point.
Have the win here in the first quarter, and Coach, I know you felt like you had to take advantage of it.
Yeah, we wanted to throw on Drake. We felt a lot of people had trouble throwing on Drake, but we didn't have a big problem with it, and that's what we wanted to do game plan-wise, run the ball a little bit and set up the throw.
Their freshman tailback had a big ball game. Jason Grove over 100 yards, and he picks up 22, sweeping the left side here.
Now, Jason's an outstanding back for a freshman. He's doing a real fine job for Drake, and he's becoming their leading rusher.
Next play, Fletcher pulls out, but without the football, and Scott Latsky gets on it.
Yeah, that's one of 4 turnovers our defense got for us. It's our biggest day turnover-wise this season so far.
So the Crusaders get the ball back, but unfortunately weren't able to move it. You punt it over, and here comes Drake moving the football. Charlie Schimberg ran well against you last year and did the same this year.
Hey, he was only a freshman last year, so their backfield's a freshman tailback and a sophomore fullback, so they'll have a pretty good running game for years to come.
He carries for the touchdown, his first of 3 touchdowns on the day. McKee will add the extra point. That was a great drive for him, Coach. They did it all on the ground. They ate up a lot of time into the win, too.
Yeah, that was their game plan into the win, was just to run the ball, and their 2 longest drives of the day were into the win, and they spent most of the time running the football. When they passed, they didn't have a great day. They were 6 for 16 passing and threw 1 interception.
And once again, Ozzie will give you good field position. Nearly breaks another one.
Yeah, the safety valve, number 8 there, is waiting on him, and number 13 is a safety valve from the backside. He came over, and they made the play. If they don't make the play, he's gone.
So the Crusaders start out from the 40-yard line, and Nick Browder. A play we'll see later on the option, and look at that move. Picks up 22 yards.
Yeah, the guy he juked there, he was supposed to pitch off of, but Nick sometimes just feels like he can beat somebody, and he beat him.
So here you are on the move, and on 3rd and 2, you run off tackle. Bob Cracknell running hard for a first down.
That's the same option play we scored on earlier, just that time they gave us a give read rather than a keep read for the quarterback.
Good block by Mark Elijah. You come out on the counter, and unfortunately you don't get the handoff and cough it up.
No, Nick hit the handoff a little bit too high, went off the top of Ozzie's chest, his shoulder pads, and they recovered the football here.
Next play, nice play coming up here. Saul Shahid and Ike Enigbo and Josh Burning all involved in that play, helping shut down the sweep.
You saw him earlier run 22 yards on that same play, and this time we got him for a 3-yard loss.
They come back running wide, and a good defensive play is Andre Murphy on the final play of the first quarter stops Grove for no gain. We move over to the second quarter, and on 2nd and 3, we see a nice play by Matt Culp.
Colby's doing a great job on there. He's playing hurt and fighting his tail off every play.
Here comes Grove, sweeping the left side, picks up 13. And then on 1st and goal, a nice play by Josh Burning, stuffs the dive by the fullback Schimberg, but on the next play, they run a similar play to Schimberg, and it gets into the end zone.
Exact same play. Josh didn't hit it hard enough here like he did the previous time. He was filtering himself outside a little bit, and it was an inside play. So if we hit it, we force a field goal.
So Schimberg's touchdown and McKee's extra point. Now you're down 14-6, and I know you felt, Coach, it's 6-0 and had the ball with the wind. You need to score again.
Absolutely. We didn't take advantage of the turnovers that the defense gave us, and especially 2 of them that we got on the 20-yard line. We never scored on. That was the key in the game.
Got a 3rd and long, and it would appear to be a safe play, the draw, but fumbled by Nate Bobeck, and Drake back in business.
Yeah, it's pretty tough to ask your defense to keep them from scoring from the 10-yard line, especially as well as they run the football.
Next play is an excellent play by Josh Burning in double digits in tackles, and there's one of them there stopping the sweep. And we're going to see a great play by Andre Murphy saving a touchdown. Watch him get his hand in there, right there. Actually, a perfect defensive play.
Yeah, excellent coverage, and Ike was coming in from free safety to hit the slant as well.
I thought this was one of the big plays. 3rd and 10, they throw a little sweep. Look at the catch, but the 2 missed tackles, Coach, is what sticks out there to me, because instead of 4th down and them trying a field goal, they get down to about the 2-yard line, and they end up going for it and scoring.
Yep, and we had Josh blitzing right in the play, and you kind of see the center tackle him there, and Josh complaining to the referee, but to no avail.
McKee adds the point after, and now it's 21-6. So, yeah, it's not that the defense is playing poor here, but the 2 short fields they worked with on touchdown drives there.
Absolutely. The defense gave up 2 long drives of the day, 60-yard drives.
Here's a pick by Ike Enigma on the next series, and pressure by John Harrington causes the underthrow, and you get the ball back in good field position. You will later on in the first half, this is fact only about a minute and a half to go, start to move the football. We see Nick Browder keep it on 3rd down, pick up a 1st down, and then we're going to see Nick go up top to Michael Tolbert, but just time ran out on you late in the first half.
That's a little what they call a wheel route, and Mike does a post in here and behind the linebackers and makes a good diving catch there.
Nice throw in front of the free safety beyond the linebacker. And there's our score, 21-6 at the half. And Coach, I know you felt like you could get back in it, but obviously what was troubling, the fact that they did run the ball pretty effective, and you didn't take advantage when you had the wind in that final 11 minutes of the first quarter.
Yeah, that's absolutely right, Todd. And we dug a little bit of a hole for ourselves in the first half. They'd been down 2 touchdowns. We came back, of course, and tied it, as we'll see in the second half highlights, and did a good job getting back into the game and playing a good second half of football.
Valpo played maybe their best half of the year in that second half. We'll check those highlights when we come back after this on Valparaiso University football.
Valparaiso University football is underwritten by the following. Signs on Time. Create signs in all sizes and materials. Special canvas banners, wood signs, plastic, metal, and magnetic. Indoors or outdoors, Signs on Time uses state-of-the-art materials including vinyl lettering. Signs on Time next to the patio in Maryville. 769-4488.
Mike's Sporting Goods, your team sports professional. Mike's has NFL and college team crews and jackets from Starter, Russell, and others. A great selection and Mike's great value. For your team sport needs, Mike's has it. Shoes from Nike, Reebok, Converse, plus uniforms, trophies, custom screen printing, school jackets, equipment, and more. Mike's Sporting Goods, Maryville, Crown Point, Hobart, and Michigan City.
Mancino's Pizza and Grinders, 706 and a half Lincoln Way in Valparaiso. Home of the hot sub sandwich, served on their very own bread made from scratch daily. Delivery available. 477-5610.
and by the financial support of viewers like you.
Welcome back, everybody. And Coach, at halftime, anything special? You did, obviously, whatever you did worked.
We just talked to the offensive people that, right now Drake is not beating us, we're beating ourselves, and we've always talked about not allowing that to happen. And we talked very tough to the offensive people. Hey, we're right now we need to execute and do our job so we can win the ball game.
All right, let's take a look at those second half highlights. Great drive to start the second half. And Coach, I know you felt like you had to move the ball in that first series of the second half. And going into the wind, if you could just put together a drive, you'd have the win in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, Nick makes a first down there on a quarterback sneak.
And we're going to see a nice throw on third down. Michael Tolbert, really, maybe his biggest ball game as a Crusader.
Mike had a good day. He had a pretty good day last week at Butler as well. And Mike's very, very good receiver.
Next play, Ozzie with the burst for 12 yards. Rodbro, nice block by the freshman. And Bob Cracknell leading the play.
Yeah, Rodbro blocked the All-American linebacker, did a great job.
You see Ozzie, again, breaking tackles on the toss sweep, picks up 10 on 2nd and 9, give you another first down. You end up with a 3rd and 12, and watch Nick roll left, stop, turn, and fire a strike for the touchdown to Michael Tolbert.
And Mike did an outstanding job there making a move. Normally when we roll out, we don't run a post route, so they weren't expecting that. He made a move and cut back in, was wide open.
You go for 2, and here's a great effort by Bob Cracknell getting in on the 2-pointer.
Yeah, we need Mike to take his man a little deeper so he can't come in and make the play on a 2-point conversion.
But that gets you right back in the ball game, and the defense feeds off it. At least it appeared that way, Coach. We see some great defensive plays back-to-back. There's Ronnie Cizzone knocking it away on Fletcher's throw, and then we're going to see on 3rd down, Chris Helton comes up the top side, untouched, the hit, the fumble, and all of a sudden you're 25 yards away from tying the game as Matt Murphy gets on the football.
Yeah, and this is a situation here where we've got to make something happen after a turnover in the red zone.
You see a great play by Ozzie off the deflection. This was on the very next play. Gives you 2nd and a foot, and unfortunately, Coach, you're unable to get the first down here, and you end up with 4th and about 2.5. The ball overthrown. You had a 3rd down play with a missed receiver also, so that very unfortunate, obviously.
Yeah, we had people wide open. We just missed the receivers at that point in time.
But the defense still doing the job, Coach. Good defensive play right there by John Harrington. Stopped Schimberg for no gain. That was on 3rd and 1. Gives you the ball back. Good field position. And we see Nick, unfortunately, though, stripped from behind and cough up the football.
That was a 3-step drop pass play that nobody was open. He took off and ran with it, which Nick does well, as you know.
Nice play by Saul Shahid. You can see knocking the ball away. Perfect coverage there. We got a 3rd down from the 28, and Ike Enigma does the right thing. He doesn't have any chance of an interference call, allows the catch in front of the first down marker, makes the safe tackle, and that forces a field goal try, which is wise. The 3rd down, you don't even have to knock the pass away. If you can stop him short of the first down, it works. And you get the ball back and come out on a screen play.
We get 9 yards on this play. Bob Cracknell, a good job of running here. Good blocking by Evan Fitzgerald and Mark Elijah out in front of Bob there. And we end up getting the first down, and
here you are on 3rd and 5 as we go to the fourth quarter, Coach. Now you have the win. Michael Tolbert gets right to the first down marker, and Nick delivers the ball.
Yeah, Nick and Mike hooked up a couple different times on 3rd down and made first downs out of it.
And here's Nick maybe at his best. In the open field, avoiding tacklers, and picks up 20 yards.
That's what Nick will do to you. You go back and cover pass and don't put enough pressure on him, he'll hurt you by running the football.
Next play, you run a draw, and Bob Cracknell picks up 16. And a nice hole.
And it blitz right into it, and Eric Rybro, the center from Zion Benton, picked up the blitz.
One of the highlights of the ball game, 4th and 3, and somehow Nick gets this ball off, and somehow Scott Hendricks comes up with the football.
Outstanding athletic play both by Scotty Heinrichs, catching the ball, and by Nick avoiding that tackler, avoiding the sack, and a big 4th down play.
One of the great plays of the season, you'd have to say up to this point, and the extra point to tie the game.
Plenty of time left to stop him and go back and try and win the ball game.
Here comes that extra point, right?
Did we get it?
Let's see. There, okay.
Yeah, we got it.
We're tied with 11:50 to go in the game, but Drake puts together a great drive. You come out on a second down, make the play, end up with a 3rd and 10. Saw a nice play there by Matt Colt and Eric Miller. 3rd and 10, and here's the backbreaker.
Yeah, this really hurts it. They were going to ball on 3rd and 10 and get a first down, keep the drive alive.
Looked like it was well defensive start, but the big cutback. Really a good job by Grove of reading the block, and Labai will take it in. Schimberg injured. They went to the backup fullback in the 4th quarter, and he actually turns out to get the winning touchdown. With a little under 8 minutes to go, McHale will add the extra point. Obviously down, but not out at 28-21.
Well, it was a little less than 8 minutes to go last week, and we were down by 7 points, and we came back and won it, and we said that to the offense on the sideline. Hey, we same scenarios last week. We're down by 7 with 8 minutes to go.
Oh, it's an unusual play. This kick, you can see the wind, the effect of the wind here on this kick. It's a little pooch. Now watch the wind just push it back. Craig Fenton does the job, calls for the fair catch, but then the Drake player actually catches the football, and they throw the flag. See the flag coming in there. I think another one actually comes in later, but he actually got the football because of the penalty, but weren't able to move it. So now the defense must give you one more chance, and we see Matt Colt make a great play on first down.
Yeah, Matty slammed right in the play and did a great job wrapping up the ball carrier for a loss.
And the next play, the bobbled snap by Fletcher, and freshman John Wrench gets on the football, and here you are knocking on the door.
Yeah, we're on the 24-yard line. It's a great opportunity for us.
And Nick throws on first down, and great catch by Scott Hendricks. Now you're down to the 12-yard line. But you end up with, after a penalty, 4th and long. And Nick, look, do you think he could have got in if he would have run it? Possibly. He throws. Michael Tolbert makes the catch, but out of the back of the end zone.
And we had a little receiver downfield. Their lineman went down in front of Nick, so if it would have been a touchdown, it would have been negated, but we would have had one more play to try and get it in.
Here's the play which gives you the ball back. 3rd and 3. Ike Enigbo makes the play from the safety spot just shy of the 1st. They punt the football, and here's Valpo's last chance. 3rd and 1. Nice catch by Michael Tolbert. Down to about a minute to go, 59 seconds to be exact after that catch. You hustle up. We're going to see Nick scramble. He'll pick up 16. Get that first down and move the chain, stop the clock. Down to the 43-yard line. Nick will hit Michael Tolbert as you hustle up. He'll get out of bounds with 28 seconds to go.
Good strike to Mike here, and good sense to get out of bounds.
Here we go on the final play. You're out of timeouts. You're going to go to the end zone.
Just a little bit overthrown.
Just a little long.
The guy in front of him didn't even jump. If that ball's a little more on target, it's a Hail Mary pass, of course, and those are always kind of a up in the air type of thing anyway. But if it had been a little bit more underthrown or thrown accurately, I think Scotty, being 6'4", had a great chance of catching it.
We'll see that Valpo outgained Drake by more than 100 yards, 379 to 265, and 4 more first downs as well.
Yeah, it seems like in a couple of the games we've lost, we've outgained and outdistanced and out first down and did a lot of things well and came up on the short end of the stick.
Yeah, difference, they had the 2 short fields, took advantage with touchdowns. You had a couple short fields and could not take advantage. That may be the biggest difference.
Absolutely.
Because you did have 2 or 3 real nice long sustained drives.
And we did a good job. We just hit and missed a few times. We're going to work hard on the red zone. Kevin and I talked about it on the way out here to the studio, and we're going to work hard on red zone scoring this week.
How about all the penalties, Coach? 87 yards. That hurt you on a couple drives.
Yeah, it really did. Especially, I think we had 3 or 4 holding penalties. Of course, we watched the film and the tapes, and we're going to send this one into the conference office, just like the San Diego tape we're sending into them. And if you watch the holding penalties that were called, we haven't seen one yet that was called. But they were calling them on us, so we have to live with it.
All right, it was all intra-league play this weekend, and you'll see that the Dayton Flyers continue to roll, right, Coach?
They had a big win against Butler, scored 49 points on Butler. Of course, we scored 44 on them, so that wasn't a surprise, and they shut Mickens off. They
had 42, I think, at halftime. Their quarterback, Cadell, threw 10 passes. 4 of them went for touchdowns, so their offense may be clicking better than it ever has.
Yeah, Cadell's, of course, a transfer from Michigan State, very, very able quarterback, and he's doing a great job for Dayton running their offense. He runs a little option, he can throw it, and runs a quarterback draw, some of the similar type things that we do offensively.
Dayton averaging 40 points a ball game. San Diego, somehow, they punted 11 times in that game. They trailed 10-0 at half. Somehow San Diego gets the victory.
Well, they had no first downs at halftime. They had 7 for the game, and in the first half, they went 3 plays and punt every single series.
Okay, so there you see the scores, and now you'll see the standings in the Pioneer Football League, and it's still Drake on top, and Dayton still perfect.
And Drake and Dayton play this week, so I assume that will be settled.
Well, at least first place for right now. In fact, if Drake wins, they clinch at least a share for the conference title. If Dayton wins, they'll be obviously in great shape. But if Drake wins, they're looking at a conference title. Obviously, just needing one more victory to win it outright.
Right, and their first conference title in the PFL. Butler had it last year and Dayton the year before. So Drake's looking to get that PFL title. I'm sure they have the Flyers at home. We know how Dayton plays when they're at home, and Drake plays very well at home as well.
Coach, the offensive line is really coming together. The Valpo offensive line maybe played its best ball game on Saturday, and here's a guy who was in a great way responsible for it, right?
Well, absolutely. Our pass protection was outstanding. Nick got sacked 1 time on the day, which is going to happen if you throw 33 times. But for the most part, you saw on the highlights here, as well as being at the game, that Nick had a lot of time to throw.
Kevin McHale, a key member of the offensive line, played some guard last year, now starting at what many coaches feel is the most important position on the offensive line, the left tackle. Kevin, how's the adjustment been? You've played both guard and tackle now for you.
Well, I started out at tackle last year as a junior, and I got moved to guard late in the season. And I wasn't really sure which one I was going to like better, but I've come around to probably being accustomed to tackle more. And I was playing guard in the beginning of the season. I almost wanted to ask Coach to move me to tackle, so I was almost thankful that he did.
Coach, how about that decision?
Well, the left tackle spot, John Lyon had for 3 years and was an all-conference player there, and that's the blind spot for a right-handed quarterback, and he needs to have confidence in that person. And Kevin's, we felt, was our best offensive lineman to play that position.
Kevin, do you feel like the offensive line is coming together? Do you feel like there's a little more continuity right now? It seems like, at least in the last 2 ball games, that Nick Browder's had a ton of time to throw the ball, at least from a pass protection standpoint.
Definitely. Last year I didn't see it at all. I mean, I knew we had the talent there, but we just couldn't put it together for some reason. And I had a lot of confidence this off season, and this year I just knew it was going to happen, and it really has. So I've really been impressed with our whole entire O-line, and the center was the guy that maybe I was a little worried about in the beginning of the year because he was a freshman, but he's really stood out and shown me that he can be one of our top players, and he's going to be a really exciting player in a couple of years.
Coach, when you were looking at Kevin McHale out of junior college, what did you see? What did you like? How did you know he'd be able to play for you?
Well, of course, I coached there at one time, and Jill at junior college in Kevin's sophomore season. Kevin was a 2-year starter there, an all-conference player, first-team all-conference player, and he was voted the most valuable offensive player by his teammates, and they had a 1,000-yard tailback and some other pretty good people, so that told me a lot right there.
Okay, and Kevin, did you feel like this was the right level for you to step up to going from junior college ball? What attracted you to Valpo?
I wasn't really sure what it was going to be like when I got here. One of the things that really impressed me was the coaching staff when I got here, and Coach Harms, he's no longer with us, but he really sold me on the school, and when I got here, I was really impressed. I wasn't sure how I was going to fit into the whole thing, but they told me I was going to step up and be a starter, which I expected to either be a starter or one of the guys getting a lot of time. And last year pretty much renewed my faith in football. I wasn't really sure where I stood anymore, and I really started to enjoy the game more and more, and I couldn't wait to get to this year.
We see an option play right there. Nick picking up 22 yards. On the option, it seemed like you were blocking down. When they ran option to your side, blocking down and taking the linebacker. You talk about what you see. I know that Coach has talked about if you run the option perfectly, it's almost impossible to stop.
Yeah, just, as long as we pick up everybody, we can pretty much do whatever we want with our offense. We have all these weapons. We have Ozzie, we have Cracknell, we have Nick. I mean, as long as the offensive line performs, these people can put the numbers on the board.
Okay, and a big ball game, another conference game coming up on Saturday, Coach. Evansville comes into town. Beat them last year, but this appears to be a better Evansville team.
They've got more team speed. They didn't have very good team speed a year ago. They went out and recruited some team speed. A lot of their running backs are freshman guys with speed. Their defense is playing a lot better than they did a year ago. They're more aggressive. Number 25, their strong side linebacker, Adam Bergenschmidt, number 3. Their strong safety are the 2 people we have to block. James Duncan is number 3. We have to block those people. We take care of blocking those 2 people, and that's the heart of Evansville's defense.
Okay, and you ran the option extremely well against them last year. Folks might remember Ozzie, over 200 yards rushing against them last year. A lot on the option.
Yes, and we plan on using that as well again. Last year, we went 85 yards in 12 plays the first series, and they were in zone coverage and they decided to go a lot of man. Well, if you're going to go man-to-man, you can't really cover all the option. And last year they were letting Ozzie run the football, and so we let him run the football.
Okay, around the conference, the biggie is at Drake, right?
Yeah, definitely the game of the week in the conference, Dayton at Drake, and then Evansville is at Brownfield and Valparaiso.
And, of course, the Butler Bulldogs, not an easy task. Thomas More still unbeaten.
They're 6-0, and they've got some real good athletes. I saw them on videotape against Evansville, and they beat Evansville 16-14. Thomas had a lot of turnovers. They've got some talented receivers and running backs at that school.
Okay, and we hope to see everybody out at Brownfield. We know we'll see you next week here. We thank Kevin McHale. We thank the head coach, Tom Horne. We thank you. We'll see you back here, same time, same place next week on Valparaiso University Football.
Valparaiso University football is underwritten by the following: